Now, let me get your take on Governor Otti'S position to appoint already established individuals as local government transition committee chairman, as against the normal thing we used to see, around this area of appointing loyalists as, party loyalists as a kind of reward for their support for the party.
Thank you very much for that question and for raising this issue that has been topical and controversial in Abia State lately, since Governor Otti appointed mayors for certain cities in Abia State, and the reaction particularly of Abia to the appointment of John Udiagwana himself.
I don't think that appointment has happened yet, but it's still in the pipeline. The governor has actually, said that some billionaires will be appointed, but it has not been made public. I mean, those appointments yet, so it's still in the pipeline. Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, but I think I listened to his speech, and he did mention some names, certainly, but not as it's been appointed. But first, my reaction is this: to the extent that the role of a mayor is gives it some form of executive leadership, also in policy making, budgeting and finance, public representation and economic development. I see that as clashing with the job and the role of a local government chairman. That is one. Secondly, the Nigerian constitution does not empower state governors to appoint mayors for cities within a state. The appointment of mayors or local administration chairperson in Nigeria is governed by the local government administration laws of each state. And this is not simply provide for election of mayors or local government chairperson by the residents of the respective local government areas. And now that is on one side. But on the second leg of my discussion, of my argument, is the reaction of some local individuals who claim that non-indigenous should not be appointed mayors. Two wrongs do not make a right. One, the mayor or local government chairman is purely by election, clearly, all over the world. We could talk about Alhaji Umaru Atine in Enugu in 1952 to 1958, who was mayor. That should not be used as an example, because he was an elected mayor. And the Igbos that have been mayors in Port Harcourt, they were also elected. But the persons that have speculated to be non-indigenous to be appointed in Abia does not hold any water for me or any patriotic Nigerian. Because if you have lived in a place for a minimum of 6 months, that confers upon you the citizenship of the place according to the Nigerian constitution. So I will give examples of the Boris Johnson and the current mayor of London. Yes, fine, they are the local equivalent of our local government chairman here, and they are elected. I'm sure, since it's been taken out of context that Dr. Alex Otisel was going to appoint, I'm sure maybe he was just flying a kite that it's about time that some eminently qualified Abians become interested in local government politics.
Yeah, because it has become a source of worry, especially to party loyalists who believe that this should be their own kind of position, where they are being, compensated or said thank you for whatever thing you've done for the party. We've seen cases like that in the past, especially here in Abia State, where TC chairman.
Sorry, let me come in here because I know we are limited with time. I do not believe in this so-called party loyalists. Just like in the military, in the army, there are fighting officers, fighting soldiers, whose job it is to fight to get victory. And there are those who run the peace. I don't believe in this backward thinking of you must compensate party loyalists. A politician should have a daytime job. If he's qualified for a job, then he gets appointed or elected. That is why all these so-called party loyalists have put Abia as one of the worst states in Nigeria until the emergence of Dr. Otti. Let us stop this partisan decision-driven things let us start placing a premium on meritocracy as opposed to this pageant for people who are jobless and just all they claim to is being in the party. What does that mean? Please, you must get serious and get serious. We are talking about development. We are talking about people who have investments in Abia. Will you bring a party loyalist because he just carries the party card and hasn't added any economic or social political value in a state or in a community?
Okay, Chief, you know that over time the cry of the young people has been to get them involved in governance of both the state, even at the local level. They've always been pushing, saying that their voices must be heard. They must be included in the governance of a particular state. Now, with this kind of position taken by the governor, where do you think it will leave the young people, you know, who may want to venture into politics or even governance, as the case may be, to contribute their own quota? Since the governor has said it's only billionaires, well, we're wondering, how many young persons are actually billionaires?
My reaction is twofold. I strongly and totally believe in inclusion, diversity, and equity. I also have a saying on the marble that the task of nation building is a mutual responsibility between the young and the old. The old contributing experience and maturity, and the young collaborating with audacity and diversity. Unquote. That is credit Sonny Roche. The fact that you are young and inexperienced does not give you any right for appointment or election. Since you are talking about local government and it's about election, go and start preparing and selling yourself to the communities. I think Dr. Otti'S looked at the people, the names that are speculated, Oba Bodex, Abia and Johnny Odabola in Abia. From what they have done, being a youth is not a criterion, or it's not a right for leadership position. You must be a youth that you have proven yourself in terms of what you have done. You see, we get people, young people, who have entitlement mentality. We have young people who haven't done a day's job to acquire the experience and discipline for leadership. There are some, I'm not saying there are none, there are some. I was once a youth, and I knew what I had done at age 20, I knew what I had done at age 25, and also there are so many people like that who have paid their dues by adding value to society and to humanity. You can't just say because I am young, therefore I must be given a certain position. Recently, President Bola Tinubu appointed a 25-year-old copper as chairman of one of the grade A parastatals, and some of us said, no, this cannot work. You must come with some value addition that we can see. You must come with some experience, and some will argue, where do we acquire the experience? Go and acquire the experience in the private sector, in service to government, in NGO, in your community. It doesn't have to be political appointment. Do something for yourself. Be serious, be committed, be deliberate, and be seen to be adding to humanity. You don't have to have a political appointment to become part of nation building. There are so many aspects to socioeconomic development. Let the youth they should not feel entitled. They should go and work hard in any area that can throw them up in society.
Okay, you will agree with me that for the fact that someone is established in a private business and all that, it's not a guarantee that the person, if he occupies a public office like a transition committee chairmanship position in a local government area, that he will bring development. Because if you say youth, maybe they lack experience and all that, well, the established billionaires may also have experience maybe in their private life. Does it in any way translate into them bringing development to local government area?
You see, their question is like saying, oh, there are so many brilliant boys in my class. They won't take exam because they know they are brilliant, or they suspect that they are brilliant. The test of an intelligent person is examination.
Exactly.
Likewise, the test for leadership is what you have done before in the past. You are a billionaire, not from 419 or from a fraudster or bad business like drug dealing. You have that discipline of employing people to become, let's say, the billionaires that are in question now. You have the experience, the discipline of going to work every day in the morning and closing late, putting food on the tables of so many families. You have the experience of using capital and using land, using whatever it is in economies to develop your business. That presupposes that you have that same discipline in whatever you do in politics or transition committee of local government. And I'll be saying that these names that were mentioned or speculated will be doing those cities a favor. It will be a distraction from their business to do favors to the hometowns that they identified with. Like President Kennedy said, when people were adjusting for position, he said to his team, he said, get me men and women that can do the job, not those who want the job. Right time, Abia starts getting men and women that can do the job, not just political jobbers who are looking for what to do. So it's important that we know that those who the governor identified are people who will be doing favors to their various communities. But then the caveat is these positions under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and local government should be elective positions and not appointments. Perhaps in the governor's thinking, he's probably thinking of starting it. Today is Dr. Alex Otti'S as governor, but we must follow the rule of law. Because tomorrow you might have a gangster governor who appoints his friends and people who do not mean well for the cities that they are mayors. Mayoral appointments all over the world and presidential systems that we copy are elective positions.
Now, Chief, now let's look at areas where these prospective TC chairmen will focus on. Now, the issue of rural roads, you know that the local government, they have limitations according to the law, what they can do and what they cannot do. So in rural areas, you know that most rural roads in Abia State are in a deplorable state. And these billionaires, I'll be wondering, can they fix those roads going by what the Constitution said they should do? You know, the limitations they have. If you have money, how can an individual, probably because of his position, will attract road project to a particular area in local government, Chief?
Well, there are grade A, B, and C roads. Grade A being federal roads, B being state roads, and C being local government roads. It is easier for a billionaire to attract his fellow friends and billionaires and people who owe him favors in the course of his business to attract, build, operate, and transfer infrastructure development, not only roads. That's very important to stress. Where with a young man who has not done favors to anybody, who himself is struggling to get employment, be able to attract the businesses that come and develop roads in local governments. Local governments have their own allocation. Some local governments also impose taxes, and the roads must not necessarily be Julius Berger type road. You can have earth roads that transport farm produce from local governments to the towns. So let us begin. The journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single footstep. Let us start appointing or electing people who you know will be able to add value to their communities. And the community people know them. We should stop these hangers on political appointments and election of food is ready. Nigeria is in dire straits. In 2020, April, I wrote an article. Nigerians should brace up for excruciating hardship. What we are going through today is as a result of our past profligacy. We keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. No, things don't work like that. It is time we start putting our best foot forward, getting our first 11 in every aspect of life. There is no Nigerian way of flying a Boeing 747. Therefore, there is no Nigerian way of doing anything. We must start thinking out of the box. I know Dr. Alex Otti'S. I've known him for over 30 years. We are professional colleagues as bankers. And if you have the discipline of the many years of banking that he has, I know it means well for Abia. The few baby steps he has taken so far, thus far, have been positive. And let us support him. No one knows it all. He has a team of advisors. He has the Attorney General. He has so many lawyer friends around him. They should also look at the constitutional provision of mayoral emergence. And also, perhaps, in his speech, which was extempore, he was probably just verbalizing what his dream is for local government mayorship. Okay. He's probably now saying, these are the kind of people, if it's going to be by election, these are the kind of people you should start thinking about. It's not about party. Poverty has overtaken the entire Nigeria, particularly with Eastern, the East and Southeast. I looked at a recent pyramid of internally generated
revenue.
Southwest was leading, followed by South-South. Southeast was at the bottom, second to last, to Northeast. Northeast has been ravaged by Boko Haram and Otti'S. Why should Southeast, that has Abia, be second from the bottom? So doesn't that tell you something? There are all these political party men who live in Abia. What were they doing? What were they doing with the past governors who did nothing for Abia? We had the last governor, who claims he's an Abia boy. What did he do for Abia? All they did was to come and challenge me on TV with their commissioner for information, showing us internet-generated photographs of roads. You know, is that governance? Please, let's get serious and go down to the drawing board as people. We keep crying marginalization. We are the ones marginalizing ourselves. Now we should all get together and support the government of Alex Otti in our little ways, in our villages, in our local government, in our ward, in our local government. We should get serious. We should sit down. Every day we claim that we are like the Jews who are hardworking. We haven't shown it in any way. We should get down to business and stop all this handling for myself. If the local governments are doing well and the state is doing well, it will generate employment. Don't just sit down and say you want to be a politician without a day job. Politics is not a job.
Okay, Chief, you will agree with me that this particular issue is quite controversial. And I'm thinking that why it's like that is because many people are of the opinion that this idea of the governor to appoint billionaires are quite, this idea is quite elitist, you know, because they believe that, some people believe that once you appoint these big men into this position, they may not have that humility to come down to the level of those at the grassroots who they are supposed to serve, and probably listen to them and know their needs and maybe solve whatever issues they are having. What do you think, Chief?
That's a biased opinion to think that because someone is a billionaire, he doesn't understand how to run a local government. No, that is wrong. And let me tell you, leadership should pull people up from the level of ignorance to knowledge. Education is key. So I believe that some of the people that the governor have in mind are people who will be able to pull people from the level of ignorance to level of knowledge. The world is not made up of only this so-called grassroots. They keep talking about grassroots. People need to be led. Dr. Okpara was knowledgeable. He led people. They followed him. But now everybody wants to be a leader. There must be followers. All chiefs are no Indians. Doesn't make for development. If you must trust people you vote for, and if they do not need you, it's like what we call in business. You call it an output contract. An output contract is, I want you to deliver. I don't know how you do it. I don't care how you do it. But just deliver. I have confidence in you by voting you into the office. All we can do, we will criticize positively. If you are doing well, we give you a pat on the back. If you are not doing well, we tell you perhaps, have you looked at this, have you done the sensitivity analysis to see which is the best remedy for this challenge? We have done to the challenges. It's not grassroots. People who are people who are struggling to make ends meet. You know, you need to help them, and it is those who have been there, done that will be able to pull people out of the morass of poverty. Let us not be elite haters. There's nothing wrong in being elitist. There's nothing wrong in making money, right? The proper and the right way. What is important is for all of us to have the milk of human kindness, to know that a hungry baby is neither Ngwa, nor Umaya, nor Bende. A hungry baby is still a hungry baby, period. An uneducated child, an uneducated child in Abia, in Umaya, in Aruchuku, in Bende. So we must start thinking humanity. That is what concerns me, not where you come from. It's totally irrelevant.
Welcome, sir. Now,
thank you.
I understand that you actually wrote a letter to the governor about his resolve to appoint Billionaires as TC chairman. What prompted that exactly?
Thank you very much, Ginika, for this opportunity given to us at the Civil Society Group to air our own view on the matter in question. We are not against the appointment of Billionaires as TC chairman, as mayor, or whatever, but the point of departure is that emphasis should not be on being a billionaire or somebody that is rich, but on antecedents of the person that is going into the office, because local government administration is very close to the grassroots, to the masses.
Yes.
You talk about integrity, notable antecedents, sound morals, good administration acumen, intelligence, a certain level of education, desire to change the status quo, proper accountability, transparency, strong capacity, and above all, the fear of God, if you may add. That is what is the issue. It's not by being a billionaire. We're not against the government appointing anybody as a billionaire, but you see also that there are a lot of rumors going around here, a lot of names flying. Normally, that's how it is until maybe when the list is released. And you also know that all this while, we in the civil society have been having a case going on of some of the billionaires in Abia that had some issues of certificate issues, that called issue of certificate forgery. So if you say the criteria of appointing people into office because of the fact that they are billionaires, they have money, then you lose the main issue, which is integrity and capacity. That is just the point of departure. We're only calling the attention of the governor to tell him, please, as you're looking into billionaires, don't bring billionaires with questionable characters. That is what we are saying as civil society group. We need billionaires with clean record, not billionaires shrouded with so many issues of fraud or certificate racketeering. That is what we are saying. Bring clean billionaires. But may I ask you, Ginika, what should be the major issue for appointment? Should be those issues, those qualities and the values that have enumerated, not just because somebody is billionaire. Now look at the election we have today. It's professors in INEC that rig election. For the fact that they are professors, that make them not to rig elections.
Hey, that's an allegation.
Yeah, but all the same, yeah, sorry, but all the same, all of the elections we see today, you see them, what we have court cases lingering after elections. It's because of the way elections were manipulated. All of us know what happened in the last election. We in the civil society who followed from beginning, from mobilizing people to the extent of it happened even on the day of election. We worked at our staff, worked at work staff. We know what happened. So for the fact that our professors does not make them not to follow to undermine our electoral process. So let's just look at integrity. Let us look at the watchword, antecedent of the person you are going to give an office, not just because the person is rich. There are some billionaires that you cannot even point to how they make their wealth. So how do you bring them into government? Can you bring them into governance just because they are billionaires, just because they have money? So you must have to take your time and look at the type of billionaire you are bringing. That is just the point of departure again. Okay.
Hey.